Right, everyone. Now we are live. Welcome back to the weekly show. We are now called the Submarine Treehouse. If you did not know, that is right. It's wacky, it's memorable, and we're having more people climb aboard the treehouse. It's also doubling as, on the banner of our new books. It's going to be in that little logo spot, kind of like Scout Comics will for Adrian's new book here. But before we jump into that, you guys just want to introduce yourself, say, one sentence, who you are, and maybe how you know me. I don't know. Bitsy.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hello, I'm Bitsy Tandem. I am the creator of Terra Entertainment, and we make isekai, anime, manga, and Maiden in Disguise New Game is our big comic coming again this year, so yay.
Very cool, very cool. Adriean.
Hey, my name is Adrien Clerc. I am the creator of Trakovi, which is going to be a 5-issue series coming out through Scout Comics in 2023. And I also work under the moniker of Think Item, and as well as 3 Press Comics.
Very cool, very cool. So if anybody remembers last week's show, we actually had Charlie Stickney come on, and he was head of publishing at Scout. So if you remember the name Scout, they're friends of the channel, and we brought Adrien back because I remember it. I was like, oh man, Adrien's with Scout. Let's bring him on. And I've been seeing you post a lot of more Trakovi updates, and you're actually on, I think now, issues 3 or 4. You're about to be, you're working well into the 5-issue run, is it?
Yeah, over halfway through of issue 3.
Very cool, very cool. And you can't, and basically this is going to come out next year, and all 5 issues will be done and then just released. Is that kind of how it works?
Well, I think it all depends on when issue 3 is done, and so tentatively they got me slated for 2023, and then so I'm feeling like they'll start releasing it, and I'll probably still be working on issues 4 and 5 at the same time. So as long as I have 3 going, then yeah, I got a little bit of time.
Very cool. And that was, we talked about when I first met you that, you kind of I don't know if you just got the announcement or something about how long was that, how long ago did you, I guess, get picked up by Scout?
So right after Kickstarter ended in October, it was like the end of October. I went through Scout's I guess qualification or whatever their pages for their submittal, and so I just threw something together really, really awfully half-ass. Like it was all in my email body, where they wanted all these separate PDFs and the synopsis story. I threw it all in there. I threw in a link to my Dropbox, and I'm like, well, have at it, right? And then I didn't hear anything until, then a month later, I followed up and said, hey, nothing. And then I did it again, just before Christmas. And then Brendan Deneen, the CEO of Scout, replied back and said, we're still discussing this, and we'll get back to you soon. And then it was kind of we'll get back to you in the new year kind of thing. So basically it was 2 weeks of not knowing what was happening, and then followed up again in the new year. And he's still discussing it, talk soon. It was just absolute torture for about 3 weeks. And then, cause I guess there was discussion amongst the editorial group. It sounded like it was kind of split, a few guys wanted the book, but a few guys, they didn't think there was any way to, there was no redemption for the character. So they didn't really like the character. So anyway, Brendan kind of just plowed it right through the group there. And it was kind of early January that I got the go ahead.
Cool. Yeah, things are moving along pretty quickly then. It sounds like, but actually, in terms of the release date, when's the first issue going to release? Sometime. Do you have a date yet, or
no date yet? No, nothing is finalized until I get that 3rd issue done.
Yes.
So.
I remember Charlie talks about how it takes super long to get into, not to market these things, right? Particularly to comic shops once you're in previews.
Yeah, and with Scout too, right? Because that's one thing that kind of surprised me with Scout is how much leeway you have as a creator. Like you get to call a lot of shots, like in terms of like how your book is sort of put together and that. So I was expecting like like the editors kind of come down and just start tearing this thing apart and saying, redraw this page, redraw that page, and all that, but. No, they really leave it up to you to throw it all together and to self promote, so it still feels like an independent book.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's great because again, Trakovi was I guess we'll drop the link in maybe the chat right now, and then I'll post it in the description, but maybe to the Kickstarter, send me a link that you want me to drop, Adrian. But Trakovi, it's a Slav without remorse, and I think everybody should check it out because it's the art style. What do you compare? What do we say your inspirations for art styles were when creating this?
I don't know. It's all self-taught, and actually, I had a review out of nowhere a few weeks ago, and he described it as like undisciplined line work, which actually I'm okay with, right? So I don't know. It's just self-taught. It's
really cool. Yeah, it's unlike anything you see in the market today, which of course is a good thing, I believe. And it draws the eye. It really draws the eye because it's so like wild and wacky, and I love it. I'm sure everybody else, you had a very successful Kickstarter. I'm sure all your reviews are saying kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
While when you people popped in, we're gonna do a few things here. We're gonna do our little. Our little, Elixir thingy there, animation. Yeah. And we're going to maybe Brittany and Pedro, if you guys want to introduce yourselves a little bit. Our guest here is Adriean, and he is he's a friend first, but then he's also a comic book writer, and he got picked up by Scout, which Charlie came on last week, and now we're having one of the writers come on, so it's very we do things here properly on the Treehouse. You know what I'm saying? So Brittany and Pedro can just say one sentence about who you are and maybe how you know me.
Oh, yes. Well, I mean, I too like to think of myself as a friend first, but I'm also Armand's editor. So I'm in the Armand universe.
That's right. Awesome.
Yeah.
And give Pedro the big spotlight here. He likes that.
I'm everybody's friend. I don't know. I'm an animator by trade. I'm starting to make comic books. I'm having fun like a 12-year-old, even though I'm almost 50. So yeah.
Yeah, Pedro just released his first book. It's Tropical Magics. Everybody should know it by now. Everybody, you're about to reach your funding goal, I believe, on Indiegogo.
Yes, sir. We're at 80%, and I'm dancing a jig right now.
And of course, we do have Elixir, which is the book here that's currently on Kickstarter that Pedro did do the trailer for, and we'll always play at the end of the video. But this has, broke all the records for me personally, and where it's going to go. It's exciting to see. Adriean, I don't know if you know, but it's my third book. It's month 3 when it was released in March, and we're going for this one book a month for the rest of the year on Kickstarter here.
That's insane. That's absolutely insane. Good for you. Seriously, good on you.
I'm an insane man. Brittany knows this.
Oh yeah, I wake up every day and I wonder what Armand's just gonna send my way.
Oh my lord! Wow.
I sleep fully clothed. I don't know when we're like, let's go. Okay.
But yeah, so right now we are sitting on Kickstarter. I don't know who's winning in this race here, Pedro, but I'm at 2883, just 100 away from 3,000. I think day 5 or something. Yeah, this is just about day 5 on Kickstarter. And again, it blew all the past. There's only been 2, but still, it blew both my first campaigns out of the water in like the first 12 hours and then 48 hours, and it just kept growing and getting bigger. And I'm definitely excited to kind of keep seeing this grow. And and I talk about me and everybody and Pedro. So as the numbers keep getting better, bigger and better projects Pack is super excited. On day one, he was already talking about Elixir #2. So we're gonna move it right now. It's between August and September for a release date or a launch date. So we're really trying to, really build something off these momentums. And we'll kind of see where it goes. What do we have here? We have Pops Van Zant.
Hey, what's up, Pops?
Hey, Pops. But yeah, I'd love to kind of hear, about, so when we talk about crowdfunding through Kickstarter and Indiegogo in general, so we're seeing this re-burgeoning or re-blossoming of, indie comics and seeming particularly strong. I think all of us have had successful Kickstarters in some regard. Pedro is about to have his first one completed, but Bitsy, you might have had the biggest one here out of all of us, I believe. With your how many Kickstarters have you ran now?
4 or 5. We're doing another one this month. I plan to do like 5 more this year.
Right. But yeah, so because you launched originally on Kickstarter and then you got picked up by Scout. And are you planning on doing another one? Like, do you see yourself going away from Kickstarter or using it as as another way to distribute, or what's your thought process about now that you have somebody like Scout? Yeah. How do you view Kickstarter?
Well, no, we need it, right? Definitely, like for indie, comic creators. So I definitely will do it again. But right now, like because with the book, with the Trakovi book with Scout, I'm the only one on the book. So I'm writing it, I'm drawing it, I'm coloring it, I'm inking, I'm lettering, the whole laying out the graphics and that. So I got zero time to, you know what I mean? So, and this is gonna be basically my life for the next 2 years. And I have other books I want to do. And I know, once the Trakovi run ends, I'll get onto, back onto the Kickstarter campaign. But I don't know how this thing's going to turn out. Like, this book might do well. And then, like I had conversations with my editor that, if there's more stories to tell after the first 5 issue, whatever, that this can actually go further, right? Because, from what I'm told, Scout is always on the lookout for ongoing titles. So I kind of took that and with the re-release through Scout, I'm going to be having like a bonus story spread out over the 5 issues. So I'm taking one of the characters, and then he's going to have his own underlying story that kind of sort of parallel with the main one. So like each issue is going to have like four separate pages, and then with the possibility of setting up like a potential second story arc. And so if Scout is cool with it, well, we'll keep going. If not, I'll just take that story and I'll just do another Kickstarter, start fresh.
Awesome! Just because I just want everybody to see the artwork in general about what you were able to do here with Trakovi. But yeah, these were the issues 1. You had 2 covers. This was issue 2. You had 2 covers here. Yeah. And then this is the artwork. It just so unlike, so surreal and stuff like that. Were you inspired by, Bill Sikowicz at all, or has anybody ever brought that name up to you? Or
lots of times, actually. Yeah, lots of times. Because like I started doing digital maybe 2 years ago, so I was all like hand drawn, pencil and inks and stuff like that. So I just kind of like taught myself how to draw digitally, because I knew like doing a book, there's gonna be so much editing going on, because I find I'm always changing, I'm changing gears a lot, and I like to backtrack and revamp a few things. So, yeah.
No, that's awesome. Why don't you expand the team? What's holding you back? Why are you doing everything yourself? Is there a reason for that, or
budget? Yeah, budget. I would love to, obviously I like to hire some people outside. Like I have, so Dylan Corbisser, who did the one of the variant covers. So I've been talking to him about maybe doing a book, right? But it's cost. And plus too, it's like, because I like to edit so much, it's sometimes it's nice to be all inclusive, like in-house, right? So like like working with Scout, like we've gone through 4 edits of issues 1 and 2. So instead of waiting for somebody else to kind of go through the edits and all that, I can just do it myself and be done with it.
Very cool. Somebody special just popped in. Do you want to introduce yourself, Dan Plagle? And he's a superstar. He has his Instagram, I believe, is at BoobDanArt. Very famous guy. Do you want to say hello a little bit about one sentence about who you are, Dan?
There's one thing we need to do first. How you doing, friend?
I'm doing well, friend. How are you?
I'm doing great.
I unfortunately, my link was in an email, and I went to go look for the email on my actual computer, and it's much harder to search my emails on my computer. It's like buried, so I apologize. Yeah, I'm the guy who's doing the Goblin Girl book. I'm known as the friend guy on most of the YouTube streaming channels. Yeah, I don't know how famous I am. I did video games for about 8 years. I guess maybe that was stuff I did that was popular.
I didn't know about that.
I will take it back that I previously said Bitsy was had the biggest Kickstarter or crowdfunding campaign. It actually goes to Dan Plagle over here, the award.
Oh, yeah, I got a decent sized one, I guess. Like, it's weird. Like, I was just hoping when I launched that I would get like maybe like 50 people. I didn't think it was gonna do as well as it did, and it really did well. And
is that book out yet? Are people asking for number 2? What's happening, Dan?
Well, I'm doing a crossover book with Irene. Rini Draw's Fiendish book, and we're working diligently to finish part 1. And all the art is like drawn. I have to do some gray tone work on a couple of pages at the end, like maybe like 10 pages of the 72. And Billy's coloring the page, Billy Basco. And then we got to put the letters in. Part of it's written already because I'd already did this floppy years ago, and this floppy is basically like a super, super light Cliff Notes version of the book. So. Right. So I got a little bit of a jump start because there's some dialogue in there I can glean. So I got that. I got a Kickstarter that I got to do some work for. Hello, Pops Van Sant. And so the campaign is doing really well. We just picked up, I think, like 3 more backers in the past week or 2. I need to put some more stuff on there. Yeah.
Dan's not playing around here. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't play.
I would suggest
he's not lying. He's not gonna lie to you.
This book is no more graphic than I would say the Evil Ernie books back in the day where they had Lady Death in them. They're just violent action adventure books. There's no real nudity in them. It's just kind of like Elvira kind of humor, boob stuff with like.
No, yeah. Because we were talking about Trakovi's art style. Like, what does this inspire? Again, it's so like unlike what I've seen before. It's like very distinct, and I can immediately tell this is a Dan Plagle book.
Yeah, a lot of people say that. It's weird for me. It's weird because I look at it and sometimes I go, oh, like this doesn't look like right, But everybody sees it and it looks uniform, so I'm just like, okay, phew, like everybody. It works out, but and people say they recognize my stuff in there, so I guess there's I have little pieces of DNA, a little bit of the sourdough formula, like in every little piece. I guess there's a little granule of the germ in there.
Right.
But yeah,
very cool. You mentioned Rini or Irene, and it was
yes.
That's how I actually saw it. Kind of like how I it kind of slipped my mind about Adriean until Charlie came on the show from Scout, and I was like, oh, let's bring him back. I saw you on her stream, and I was like, I know that guy. Let's have him on this show. Irene refuses to come on the show. But that's no, I'm kidding. She just doesn't reply to my emails.
Okay.
But no worries there. We'll
I'll
get
talk
her
to her today. I'm gonna see her today. I'll talk to her today.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it, Dan. But we got.
She's really nice. I would be surprised if she wouldn't come on and talk to you.
Very cool.
I
Well,
just
yeah.
know she has a really crazy schedule because she has, like, it may look like the comic is her like full-time thing, but the comic is literally like her side. Like, it's full-time for her, but like, it's kind of in like the realm of like, for some people would be like a side thing or whatever, because she has a full-time day job like as a graphic designer working in animation and
she does layout and
graphics job she has down in
I feel like even if it's, you know, you have a main job, I feel like comics is number one priority. Is that,
well, that's for her. It is like in her mind, that's the number one thing. The other thing is the side hustle, so that she can keep the house. Like she's building her house, like repair. Like she's like crazy handy. Like she's like building walls and like all kinds of stuff in her house, redoing floors, doing all the plumbing, and I'm just like, that's a lot.
That's definitely a lot. Adrien, do you have a job yourself while you do all this, Trakovi?
I do roadside assistance with AAA. So
got it. I was actually asking Adrien, Dan, but
break down. I show up in the tow truck.
I was seeing something about that on Facebook. I was like, is that Dan? I was like, yeah, Adrien, go. Sorry.
Oh God, yeah. I'm not gonna make a living off making a comic right now.
Yes.
You know, there's no romantic whatever. I know. It's just like, yeah.
Gotta keep the hope alive. Keep pushing.
You know what? I've been doing art for like, oh my God, I don't know. Like I'm old enough to say like maybe like 20 plus years, and it's like, you know, I make enough to like buy car parts and, you know, maybe lunch here and there. So no, like during the day, I'm an estimator at a sheet metal shop.
Nice.
That's it.
Well, cool. I believe in you. You keep pushing through. Like it's gonna happen. Especially in this whole like crowdfunding thing. Like really anything's possible. Like as long as we like keep on target and like be consistent and like put stuff out. Like I think eventually it's just gonna build, because I think it's really the beginning of like a new sort of market system for this type of medium. So I mean that's why I'm over here. So
it's funny. It's funny. My wife like asks me every now and then because you know with Scout your stuff goes into like an IP catalog, and then you know prospective whatever studios and all that pick through it. And she goes, so potentially if it gets picked up, you know, do I have to go to work kind of thing? You know, so she's like coming up with all these little scenarios. I'm like, probably not.
You're
probably not. So
here's the thing, babe. Help me by being my social media plant.
Yeah.
Get out there and push it. Help push it. It's like there's a couple other people that their wives like, and girlfriends or whatever, like my girlfriend in particular, she's always like, she her day job is she works sort of doing advertising stuff, so she's always trying to find ways to help me promote my stuff. And I noticed there's a lot of creators, like you got Patrick Thomas Parnell of Riot Press or whatever. He does Johnny Phantasm, and his wife is like fully engaged with like social media and like helping him do promotion and stuff. So yeah, you tell like, come on, chip into the old lemon stand. Lemonade.
No, you know? I'm a one-man army. Yeah,
it's
all me. Yeah. She shakes my head sometimes when I sort of like, you know, relay some dialogue, you know, on a page, and she's like, "Can you say that?" You know, like, I don't know. So yeah, I just like honestly, I think at this point, my goal is, you know, I want to be at a con and I want to see someone across the aisle just kind of walk out to me in a cosplay from one of my books, right? I think that'll be it for me. Then I'll be like, oh my God, right? You know, that'll be like,
that's gonna
I've done it.
That's gonna happen pretty soon. I have a good feeling. Do you mean like in the tights of like the Trakovi outfit? I could absolutely see that.
Yeah, I want something. I want someone to show up in a Grad 83, you know, the mullet kind of thing, and it's just, I want that. That's what I want. You know, the money's fine. I'll take it, but you know, I'm not banking on it. So I think this is attainable. That one person out there is gonna like be inspired enough to like, you know, dress up.
And I think as, because what we all are doing together, I believe we're building indie crowdfunding comics, and we're building it into an industry, and it's in its early days, and I think as we keep putting quality content out there, we can probably, honestly, Kickstarter and Indiegogo, they can kind of compete with these bigger publishers where, we don't even have to, maybe there's a direct pipeline into stores with themselves. They're always thinking about how to really do these things, or even if it's just online direct marketplace, like it's still doing really well. And as we grow these numbers, I'm going to play this animation because Dan Plagle did join and we did not play it. So if anybody doesn't know, Pedro is an animator. And Adrian, if you want to get a cool Trakovi animation, you know what to do. That was for the book that's currently up, Elixir. And we're trying to push it. We're trying to push heavy on social media now, as we're trying to learn it in this
somewhere.
I might just hit you up, because actually, you know what? I have a theme song as well for the book. So.
Me and Pedro were just talking about a theme song in the vein of, the Imagine Dragons song for Arcane. I already forgot, it's called Enemy or something. That song is still charting in top 10, even though the show on Netflix, animated show, was like months ago. So it definitely brings a different longevity to the project, and it's a constant marketing thing that people like listening to. And me and Pedro are always trying to take things to the next level, and that's one of the things that we're gonna do, a theme song, and this trailer. Maybe we'll just play this trailer right now because you guys like this animation so much. But Pedro did the animation of this trailer, and do we have it somewhere here? Pedro, do you have it? Can you play it?
Yeah. Okay. We have to be a little bit more. Let me just look for it then.
Oh, no worries. But I bring it up only because I'm actually on vacation, you guys. I'm actually in Aruba, so that's why I kind of threw this whole stream together. We'll have a bigger one next time. But let's.
I can feel the blood leaking out of me, draining out all that I am. My memories, my pain, my happiness. There's something different in the air. I feel it in every breath I take. It's flooding over my body and mind. It feels like death.
A new presence has been created in the universe. It is an abomination. A new embodiment of death.
Cyrus, the monster hunter, you will leave now. This is not a fight you can win.
You are angry at the world, at your place in it. Your weakness, your mortality. Anger is good. It will keep you alive.
Angels, demons, they're all the same. All monsters, all my prey.
I choose you, Cyrus, the monster hunter. I give you your greatest hunt. I name you my champion.
Why? I want my body! This world! Let me die in peace!
There you have it. That's the brilliance of Pedro right there. And of course, that's Elixir, the brilliant line art of Pac. Pac will hopefully come on the show in a little bit. He, is always on the move. He's attending to some family matters right now. But I remember last week he was just running around, and we were having everybody on the show. It was crazy last week. But yeah, what do you think, Dan? I'm super curious about your opinion on the trailer and in general. What do you think? Was that a book you would read? Let's get a blurb out of Dan Plagle himself.
Yeah, I mean it's a good teaser. It's not a. It doesn't. The only thing I would say it doesn't tell me verbally like overall like it's like seeing a teaser clip of the movie, like, you know what I mean, like of a sequence from the book, but it doesn't say like this is a story about a guy's search for redemption and finding his way through the world. You know, it doesn't have that element to it. But as far as like giving me a glimpse of like what type of feel of what the book is and like the art and everything, yes, it's a good trailer, because I would see that and I would know right away whether or not like it was for me. And I like the art style, so yeah, I would buy that.
There we go. Dan's gonna go on the Kickstarter page. We're gonna blurb him. We're gonna quote him.
The thing that I liked the most about it, yeah, quote me. The thing that I liked most about it was that shot that I think it was his back, and there was like energy coming out from him or something. I don't know how to describe it.
Yes.
It was like that close up of him. I was like that's kind of cool, and I was like thinking in my head, I was like, is that how I'd approach that? I think maybe. Like, I was like, that's how I look at most things. Sometimes I look at it initially like, do I like this? And then I start looking at going, like how would I approach that? Like my brain starts like thinking about stuff like that. Like how would I draw this if I drew it? Not that I could draw it better, but like it's weird. Like I start I instantly decide yes whether I like it or not, and then I start breaking it down of like what can I learn from this? That's how I look at most art. So
that's a great way to think about it. Adrian, is that how you look at art in general? I'd be curious to get.
Honestly, I just kind of make it up as I go. Yeah, I really have. Yeah, I try. Honestly, at this point, I try to stay away from things. I try to stay like I get all like whenever I see links on like how tos and things like that I'm into going. It's like how to make a comic, right? And the discount bit. I'm like, I just. At this point, I'm so far into it. I try to like blinders.
I agree. That's
things.
That's a good point.
I just got this the other day. This is fantastic.
Oh, dude!
Ooh.
It's a beautiful book, and I got on it late. There's like I think volume 3 is like out of print or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I've got like there's deluxe editions of like 3 and 4. So I'm like so I ordered that,
dude.
And then a buddy of mine did the art of this book. Which magic order, and so I went on. He told me on Amazon they had the line art edition, so I got the line art edition from France. So I've been going over this. So yeah, I'm always looking at stuff for ideas.
Me too.
Very cool.
I've got a whole wall of anime girls right in front of me because I draw anime. So it's like every time I see a new like premium waifu, I'm like, I must study you. And so it's like,
you must be studied.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey Pedro, is that a Dead Kennedy shirt?
Yes, sir.
Well done.
California.
Pedro is a rock. He's a rocker. He plays the guitar. He last 2 weekends ago he was on a mini tour across. Where are you again, Pedro?
I'm in Panama. It was just a festival. It wasn't a mini tour, and I sprained my ankle. So yeah, that's my rock star life.
It's a rock star story.
Yeah.
My band, our big gig this year is playing at the truck stop in town. So
those are the best.
Yeah.
Those are the best. Like you get like, oh, here's some free food. Really?
You're a singer, right, Bitsy? That's correct.
Yeah, I sing in a rock band. We just do covers of like American songs, but the guys are all Japanese and they're old and they're really cool.
Nice.
There you go. Also, a fun cameo was that Bitsy was in the trailer as one of the voiceovers of the Angel character, I believe.
Nice.
So
hey, Bitsy, send me some links of your band. Do you have videos of your band playing on YouTube or whatever?
I don't have any videos yet.
Okay.
I'm always trying to get people to put up links. I know I'm trying to convince Brittany to put up a link to her comedy shows, her live comedy shows. But maybe soon, right, Brittany?
Every day it's links and folders.
Well, I'll definitely put something up after the whole whatever's going on at the truck stop.
Yeah, the truck stop gig. Yeah,
that'll be amazing. I think everybody is waiting to see that, Bitsy. There's people clamoring to kind of right here. We have a special, not really a special guest, but
Hey guys.
mainstay of this channel, Pat Kwan, and also the artist of Elixir. You know him best.
Oh, nice, great stuff.
Elixir.
Yeah.
Dan was studying your artwork a little bit earlier
Was.
because he wanted to know if he could draw the Death 2.0 standing, with the glowing things off his things, if he could do it better. And I said,
no, it's not about doing it better. It's to see if like there's always something I see, right?
Exactly. Okay.
It's never doing. It's going like when I see something that I haven't drawn that I'm like I should like try to attempt something more like that in my work, and then I go like how I go about that. Like I feel like sometimes some of my guys they have like a zone of an archetype that they float in, like whereas like it's not as wide and varied as I like. So every once in a while I see a guy's like a drawing of a guy or something like that, and I'm like oh that's an interesting sort of like angles of the face. Like I wonder if I should try and like get that in my repertoire somehow. And there was a shot that I think he had like a necklace and it was his head. It looked like it was on the cover or something. And I was like, oh, that's really nice. I was like that's something like that's a different style of face that I don't draw. So I would like look at that. And then like I said, like I do draw some stuff that's dark, but I haven't drawn a lot of stuff with like emanating sort of energy and steam. And well, oddly enough, I'm working on something graphically right now that I've been doing layers of like smoke effects and stuff too. So I was looking at that shot and I was going, I wonder if like I should be doing something more like that with what I'm doing, but I kind of can't because the thing I'm working with, I'm trying not to redraw what's there because I'm supposed to be transcribing my old image to make it for this thing so that it looks vintage as an old image and not me modernizing the graphics. But it was like I was looking at going, geez, when I eventually redraw this again later, because it's stuff that's going to be in like volume 2 of Goblin Girl, I was like, maybe I should look at stuff like this for reference for like ways people are doing certain things. Like I can gleam a line here, or like a hatch thing, or like whatever it is from it. So
so Dan was inspired, is what.
Yeah, it's more or less picking up techniques.
And Pac is a big crosshatcher. He loves crosshatching. And actually, we'll jump right into Pac. Do you want to start sketching?
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna start sketching. Pac's finally here because anybody going forward, we're gonna do a new thing for this Kickstarter campaign. All you have to do is subscribe to this channel, this YouTube channel here, Submarine Treehouse, and you get a free subscriber exclusive art print. How about that, Dan? How do you like that?
That's pretty awesome. Not a lot of art prints, probably.
Who should I draw though?
Wait a minute, am I giving out free art prints? Is that what we're saying? You just zoomed in on me like I'm giving out free art prints.
Yeah. It's an ambush, then. It's an ambush.
I didn't think he's giving out free art prints.
It's Pac.
I want to see you to draw a female Death 2.0.
Yeah. We can do this. Do you want to do Pac? Do you want to do Serial? Do you want to do Suri?
Yeah, I can do Suri.
Let's do Serial. I think we haven't done her yet. Yeah, let's start sketching it. And obviously, I don't know. So Pac last time was able to destroy the sketch in about 35 minutes. If he's unable to finish it this time, we'll pick it up next time. But it's one of these things where we're going to, we want the audience to feel included as they see it happening, and then we're gonna get it colored, of course, and then put it into the, into every backer who backs Elixir One and is subscribed. And it's something that we talk about how to make it bigger. This is one of the ways I think to kind of keep upping the ante of every campaign, stuff like that.
Like live drawing of stretch goal.
That's right. And we'll keep checking in with Pac over here. But as a blank page is it's always everybody's favorite. They like to see the before and after. Adriean, do you only do digital? I don't remember if I ever asked this.
For the book, yeah. For the book. Yeah, but no, like I said, I've been doing like hand drawing and that well before that. So the digital thing's only a couple of years right now.
Okay, very cool. So how long ago have you been working in comics in general? Then was Trakovi your first one?
Yeah, yeah. Like I've done other things. Like I always knew I do comics, but I knew I wasn't kind of there as an illustrator. So I did everything from like furniture design. I did collage for a couple of years. I was a street artist for a few years. So and it really wasn't until like the last few years I kind of started getting back into comics, and then just slowly kind of tried to learn to draw again, and here we are.
That's amazing. I mean, that's amazing, and I guess everything was just so well received with Trakovi. I just thought you've been doing it for a while, to be honest. But but it's something.
Yeah,
that
I don't know. Honestly, I thought I would just like do the 2 issues for Kickstarter, and then I don't know, just paint landscapes, after the fact, call it a day. So anyway, here we are.
Well, we're talking five miniseries, and then possibility for more. And then,
panic mode, yeah, absolute panic mode. So yeah, I'm in constant stress. You know what I mean? It's like I'm constantly thinking, and it's like I have re-edited issue 1 like more times than I've told my editor. You know what I mean? Like I just like I be sitting there, and it's like all of a sudden it pops in my head this one particular panel, and I drew this book like about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. So it's like, it's funny. I don't know about you guys, but it's like you must know the difference from like what you've done 2 years to now. You know what I mean? Like it's such an astronomical jump. So like for me, for having a book that's going to be re-released like through a publisher, it's going to be a first impression, with a lot of people, and now it's like, that person that drew 2 years ago is no longer that person today. So I'm jumping back, I'm redrawing it, and then in a few months I'll probably go back again and redraw what I just redrew. So this is just an absolute vicious cycle. And you
have to put a lid on that, because I mean, in my case, the moment I finish something, I hate it.
Yeah, and the writing too, and writing as well. Because like when I first started like writing, I'm not a writer. Now I guess I am, apparently. So when I started writing it, I had whatever, it was funny, haha. But as I kept going, and as other interests kind of started coming into play, it's like this past year, it's funny. I've been reading. I just started reading like John Grisham books.
Oh,
right.
Nice.
And so as I'm writing issue 3, my wife's reading the script. She's like, this sounds like it's from John Grisham, right? Like, you know what I mean? So it's gone from like this like slapstick whatever to like this like serious, heavy kind of whatever, and it's just like, But then I always think of like, with the Harry Potter books, right? How Rowling started off like from point A, and as she kept going, like her writing became more mature. How she handled her characters became more mature. Yeah, I mean, you even saw like in the movies as well, right? Like it was just this like it was a property growing up in front of your eyes, right? So I'm hoping by the time that it comes out through Scout, people look back on it and then they'll realize that they're seeing like like a trajectory of a series, and not judge too harshly.
No, I think that's a good way. I think a lot of creators deal with that, and artists in particular, because even Pac was telling me, so me and Pac have been on this journey for just about 2 years now, and a lot of these pages were done, 2020. So yeah, looking back now, we're like, Pac kind of tears. He's like, oh, I would have done this differently. But then now, it's okay because now we learned. It was. I think both of our first books actually, and then now we're gonna take everything we learned, take it to the next book, and issue 2 is gonna be, exponentially better. But that's just, I see that just like an inevitable fact, and it's really something you just have to be okay with, especially when you brought up the writing. I keep having to go back to the editing board and keep relettering even because again I letter everything as well. So it's one of those things where you have to be careful because I can just keep relettering. I see new things. I want to say new things.
You gotta stop at some point. I'm really trying to.
There's a moment you have to say Yahtzee. It's like Hey,
Just
we're done.
drop it.
Yeah.
And move on to the next. Because there is so many, and especially if I'm trying to keep pace for one a month this year, I really have to finish one and then move on to the next.
But at the same time, though,
crazy.
it is a confidence builder, right? When you look back at like where you started and where you are now, like that's like because you're always looking at other people to kind of like reply to your work, react to it, and all that to kind of help build up your confidence. Like we're very sensitive people, you know what I mean? It's like we need that little bit of boost, right? And to be able to like kind of like fabricate your own stream of confidence building, really, from seeing like how you drew character A, and how you're drawing character A now, so it's that part's fun. I've actually it is fun, but at the same time it's still nerve-wracking because you want to put your best foot forward, right? And but like Pedro said, you just got to walk away, right?
It's pretty crazy. The so I do manga, so they're a lot longer than like floppy comics. And my most recent book, we just published the first 2 chapters compared to the last 2 chapters art-wise. There's a huge difference. I mean, most people who don't do art won't notice it. But I noticed it. And I'm like, I want to
that's
redraw
what's important. And that's what's important. Like,
it's funny with okay, is it? Do you say manga or manga?
Manga. Yeah.
Okay. So it's funny. It's like my kids, like one's 19 and one's like 17. They're both heavily into that, right? So so it's funny. We have like this little bit of a divide, I guess, with that. So they're actually trying to like get me to look into more titles and to kind of whatever. So I picked up Chainsaw Man. Whatever. So I'm like. So I'm trying, right? But I've just never, I don't know. But I find recently it's kind of nice to kind of sort of get, an outside influence, and then see if it actually trickles in, in some fashion.
If you're reading manga, I can recommend a really good one.
Yeah. I just added you on Twitter, so. So if you want to send me, send me some recommendations. Seriously, I am so open to whatever. So.
Sweet.
And
I'll
again,
put you up to see what your genres are.
Yeah,
she's
no
in the
fire
hub
over.
of it all. She's in Japan, where manga.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's
There's
the first
a lot
ask.
of manga here. It's insane.
Oh,
And
it's funny.
everybody reads it.
I came. I was watching. I was just kind of like going through YouTube or whatever, and a couple years ago, and they showed like a live action, the trailer for the live action Attack on Titan movie. And it's funny. It's like, oh my god! Honestly, God, that was my first time ever witnessing that title. I didn't see all the animation, all that, so this is my first exposure. So I remember I don't know. I'm still old school with movies. I still looked for Blu-rays and DVDs, so I ended up like ordering the Blu-ray of it, and my kids are like, no, the live animations or the live action's trash, right? I'm like loving it. I even bought the sequel as well, and they refuse to watch it. They're like, no, trash.
That's hysterical.
They're so judgmental. But...
I used to be just like your kids. We lived with my aunt, and she bought the Avatar: The Last Airbender live action, and I was furious. I went into the other room, and I'm like, "It's not real."
Is that the M. Night Shyamalan one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I've never seen it.
Yeah, I never bothered with it.
You're
not missing out on anything there.
Yeah. I was so upset with her. I'm like, how dare you support that trash? But since I've moved to Japan, I've like chilled a lot. It's they're not as stuck up as you think they are here. It's like you think this is comics and this is manga, and they're just like, we love stories. It's all welcome.
Every community has their elitism. Doesn't matter what it is, right? You're always going to have that group that puts on their top hats and sits around and judges other people and all that. But yeah.
Sorry guys, like I know I live disconnected, but I'm in the middle of like legal stuff with the property, and I have to answer stuff. So sorry.
Pedro's a very busy man, but always here for the comics.
We're talking about redrawing stuff and differences and things. So I was digging up because I have a couple different variances of something I did. Let me switch my camera here. So can you see this?
Goblin Girl.
So this is the classic page, right? This is what it looked like in the original book. Mm-hmm. And then when I went to do the book and I expanded it, I redrew it. This is the new page. So that's the contrast. But as I was working on the book, there was story elements within this new page that I wasn't happy with. So then I redrew the page yet again. And then I came to the page that's now in the book, which is this one. So yeah, I totally know what you mean.
Yeah, see, but at least your original one looks good.
Yeah,
like my original one looks like I just had a stroke, right? So
I mean, this one's like style-wise completely different. It's really closer to like anime, really, like some of these shows.
I was gonna say that. I like your panel layouts. Yeah,
it's pretty cute.
I mean, some of this is still like elements of this will still be in the new version, but the style is closer to more of a hybrid, which is what this is now. So it's got little stuff in there, like it's this little tiny panel down here at the bottom. I don't know if you can see her face very well, but it's kind of cartoony looking. But
I definitely like where it got to, your third draft there. I feel like you combined both of your styles and just really kind of matured it all around, and it's really cool.
Yeah. And that was the thing. I kind of liked the lighting on this one, but I changed the style of the horns a little bit as I started doing the book. So I had to go back and fix that. And also, she seemed sort of angry to me in this panel before, which wouldn't have been the vibe that she would have had in this scene. So I had to redo that. Also, this situation would be down here at the bottom, so I had to flip flop that action, and then this is on the next page. So there was just a lot of that.
That's all hand done too. That's insane amount of work.
Yeah. Dan, is this all traditional? Like you don't do digital at all?
No, I do. I'll mess around with digital a little bit, but like I only really color or letter digitally. Like I like the process of drawing the pages by hand.
There's another thing you have to understand about Dan. All this was done in 20 minutes. He is really fast. He's unnervingly fast.
Can you confirm or deny these rumors that you're the fastest man, the fastest artist alive?
I am not. I don't think I'm the fastest. I've actually seen Kim Jong-gi draw live in person. That guy's fast.
Yeah. Dan is pretty fast. It will get you mad.
I move pretty quickly. Usually, I'm pushing because I want to see the story progress. Yeah. So most of the time, my stuff doesn't sit very long because I want to see it finished. Because first and foremost, I'm telling the story to myself before I am telling it to the viewer who's getting it. So I want to be satisfied with the story or happy with what I'm telling. So I want it to look the best as possible visually, what I have in my head, and B, it also needs to make sense in a way. So that's usually how I work.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I mean, I would say probably an hour and a half for these pages from pencil.
That's not bad.
It's a great time.
That's pretty good. Yeah, well done.
So,
yeah.
I'm a universally slow artist.
Yeah.
Universally?
Lies.
That's the wrong word. I'm so slow.
Lies. 20 minutes. Lies.
Are you talking about her?
No, I'm talking about you.
Oh, no, it's not lies, man.
Pedro says he saw you do the drawing. He was right behind you when you did it.
He watched me do it before. I did a 24-page book in like 2 weeks.
What?
You watched me do that. Yeah. I was rushing to get it done. Before I went into Goblin Girl, I was like, I promised this friend of mine that I was going to do this book. Like, there's this friend of mine named Axebone, and his studio is Bad Axe Studios, and he came to me. I guess it was like 2 years ago, and said, I'm not a sequential art guy. Like, I just like doing pinups and covers. Would you draw the interiors of my book? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then, like, a year to 9 months went by, and I didn't hear anything from him. And then I was like, I think I want to take a shot at actually doing this crowdfunding thing. And so I showed around a bunch of projects that I have some other books that I just kind of did one-offs of that just to have books for shows to see if people liked something, and if it did really well, I would obviously go forward with it. And everybody universally said they wanted the Goblin Girl when I showed them this little promo book. So I was like, all right, well, I'll do that, but I got to redraw it and actually tell the story, because the book is like, it's almost like full narration. It's not even like, almost like a storybook, not so much a comic book. And I was like, I want to visually show the steps of motion of the story happening, not just keyframes of like every 20 minutes of a movie, basically. So I started working on this, like getting ready to do this, and then out of nowhere, my buddy comes back to me and says, "Hey, I'm ready to do this Viking book for Kickstarter. Are you ready to draw it?" And I was like, "Guess." I was like, "When do you need it by?" And he's like, "I'm going to print in like 3 months." And I was like, "Oh, right."
Oh,
and I was supposed to start Goblin Girl, so I worked on that book. I felt I kind of rushed it a little bit, but everybody.
Were you worried at all, Dan, when somebody says you have like 2 weeks? Like, were you worried? You're like,
no. I've drawn books faster. I've done a 22-page book in 2 days.
who is this man? Who is Dan Plagle?
I have that book. Hold on real quick. Let me see if I grab that book real quick.
He is the legend of the boob Dan art.
Yeah, the boob Dan. I also one more question, Dan. When you come back, is wit is the inspiration behind your name? Like, why did you choose that name? You know what I'm saying?
Why did I choose that name?
Everybody wants to know.
I was terrible at drawing women's faces when I first started drawing. They all look like men. And so I just started enhancing the boobs. And then it became like a thing that when I stopped doing the boobs, then people that I knew that were looking at my books were always like, "Well, where are the boobs at, man?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "There's usually giant boobs on these women in these books." And I was like, "All right." So then I leaned into it heavily, and then I started a DeviantArt page, and I was like just posting fan art for a while, and it just kind of stayed there. And so when I came over here, it was just like, I have a decent name, but it's not like, it wasn't necessarily a catchy one. So I was just more or less, I was more or less looking for something as like a moniker or whatever. Like there's all these people with weird, like names like Jabba the Hutt.
Well, it's definitely memorable. I think
so. I just went with that one, and so that's kind of where that came from. But so I can't show this whole book. I can show some of this. I did this years ago for this company called Boneyard Press. I did this to cover the cover because the cover was like a nude photo cover. But this is
a Submarine Treehouse exclusive, a reveal by Dan Plagle.
I did in like 2 days over a weekend when I was back in like high school, I think, like senior in high school.
Gosh.
So like the first couple pages, I was like, oh yeah, I'll just put my effort into this, I'll make it look good. And then the guy was like, yeah, can you get this to me by Monday? And like he got me the script like Saturday night, and I was like, I guess. And so as it went along, I started doing stuff that was much faster. Like this whole page is drawn with a Sharpie marker, like, and I'm talking like a fat Sharpie marker. Like not like like some of the ones they have now that look like pens, but so like all of this stuff, we can't show this page. Hold on.
Whoa.
Okay, I think we can show this page because it's just 4. But yeah, so like this is just like lots of like Sharpie marker stuff. But I had to draw this whole book in like basically 2 days.
That's so ridiculous.
That's insane.
That's also hilarious. So Dan, so if I tell you I need this done by, if I need this whole book done in 2 days, you do it? Is that how it is? Like, or is that like a one-time deal?
It would probably be ugly, but it would be possible.
You'll have
this is not sexy stuff. This is like, this is like grindhouse, like.
Yeah, it looks like
back alley art, like. I don't know. Like,
I'm sure there's a market, there's a niche for that for sure.
Yeah, it has its place in time, but I wouldn't say like I would try not to do it in 2 days.
Dan would not put his name on that book. That's what
Well,
happened
my
here.
name's on it. I put my name on anything I do. I mean, I'm not that not that bad. But
Your
some of the
panel
stuff in
layouts
there is
are
pretty good. Like these first couple pages, I really like. Like I really like this
What are
shot
we
of the guy.
looking
the
at here,
concept
Bitsy?
of the guy.
So this is my Maiden in Disguise cover, and I was just like, this took me 3 weeks. Like this took me 3 weeks. Thankfully, this was like 2 years ago, and I'm a lot faster now. Let me see if I can share the other one. I just did this one. I did this one in 1 week. Share screen.
Update check on Pack. How is a Pack doing right here? It looks really good, Pack. I like it a lot. It's coming along really nice. And this is the Devil's Apprentice character in the book Elixir, and a very inspired design. Some nice horns there, and it's gonna look, I think, really cool when it's done. Let's go back to Bitsy here.
So this is my more recent stuff.
Very
I did
nice.
this in 1 week.
Oh, that's nice.
So
wow.
I've gotten
Very
faster.
nice.
This piece somewhere.
Thank you.
Oh, we have General Piggy in the house.
What's up, Dinner Piggy?
Here's some anime girls.
And yeah, this is definitely that manga style that
Yeah.
it's very popular, and there's a reason for it.
I've been playing with REM lighting recently.
Dan, do you think you would ever do manga?
Well, like I said, Goblin Girl started out as my attempt at that. Goblin Girl
okay.
initially was meant to be when I originally created it. I wanted to do something that was Legend of Zelda, basically. So I have some old Goblin Girl stuff that straight up looks like sort of like Legend of Zelda type art. Actually, there's a shot of her on the inside of the book that's kind of
Zelda-ish.
Here we go. So there's this shot of her, which is very
Yeah.
Cute.
I see.
So yeah, I mean, it's possible. I don't know. Like it's weird. Like I have to turn a switch, to go into that style. So sometimes I can do it, and sometimes it's like I don't know. I right now I'm kind of back motoring in my own sort of lane. I'm pretty comfortable there.
Yeah.
I was talking with manga. It's like you got to be all in, to really be authentic. You know what I mean? Like,
Totally.
yeah.
Good point. Yeah.
I don't know.
Cool. I kind of want to wrap it up. We're at the 1 hour mark. It's always these things go by so fast because we're having so much fun. Isn't that right, Pedro?
Yes,
knows.
we are. Yeah. I did this right
But
now.
Look at that.
look at that.
Nice.
It's anime looking.
Yeah, the thing's like, I
It's
don't know,
awesome.
guys. With
It's kind
a
of ninja high
proper,
school.
with proper model sheets, you can do whatever. So, I don't know, like that thing, like jumping styles. Just try to produce proper model sheets. Get your 3/4, front, back, have a face sheet, and you can do whatever. Like jumping styles, I don't know. That was ingrained in me in animation school. So you tend to be versatile. Like,
I'd love to see your animations.
oh, I haven't done that much anime because my career has been mostly like adult diapers and tuna cans because I was working advertising. But now that I'm in this field, if somebody who's doing a manga wants some animation, if they give me the proper model sheets, I can service properly.
Cool.
Right.
Yeah.
If you guys want to go around and just say maybe where people can find you, maybe, and the question I always like to ask people is, will you come back? Will you come back, Boob Dan Art? Let's start off
Of
with
course,
you.
I'm always willing to come back. Just
There we go. There we go. And where can people
send me the link. Let me know when, and then I'll be
Thank
there.
you.
As long as I'm not working my day job,
very
that's the only thing that really kind of throws it off. But yeah, you can find me at the where is it? Right there, Boob Dan Art or Dan Plagle, on pretty much everywhere for the most part. Yeah, like except for TikTok. I'm not on TikTok. Well, technically I'm on there, but I'm not on there. I don't really post anything or go on there anymore. But
I didn't know you danced.
huh?
I didn't know you danced. You're on TikTok?
No. Like, there's. Do you know who Passion for Drawing is?
Yes.
he's on there, and he does like live sketching of sketch cards, and he was telling me that I should go on there and do that. And I went on there, and my account instantly got like canceled.
Oh, okay.
So I had to go on and make a Dan Plagle account because they won't let you make a Boob Dan Art account. And so yeah, they're very particular about
younger
that.
generation that they're trying to, it's
So I was like,
Gen
but
Zs.
I didn't know because I just thought it was like any other platform. So I was like, whatever. But I don't know. It's not. I don't know. Like, it's not really my thing. Really, like, I'm not really into like the short video thing. But I'm on YouTube. Main place you'll find me: YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Those places I'm there a lot. But I'm also on Facebook. I'm on DeviantArt, but I haven't really been on there in a while. There's stuff on there to look at, but and I think that's
very cool.
it.
Very cool. Thank you, Dan. And actually, we met. I see you on Niall's show, Pop XP.
Yeah, Pop
Are
XP.
you? I'm going to be on that show next.
He froze.
No.
Oh no!
Wow.
Is a great friend as well of
Yes.
this show and in general. Let's jump
He's a good
to
dude.
Adrian before. Where can people find you, Adrian?
There.
Need a roadmap.
You can find me at 3 Press Comics on Instagram and Twitter. Mostly on Instagram, you can witness the birthing of issue 3. Slow process. So, and then Twitter, I don't know. My Twitter game's kind of weak, so I usually just kind of retweet and sort of like complain about movies and,
Well, you'll certainly be able to find him soon in local comic shops. Maybe next year, right? So early next year.
it's
we'll
this
kinda
next
see what
year.
happens.
It's next. No, definitely next year. So it's just like I just got to get this thing done, and then maybe sooner. I don't know.
Very cool. Well, we're always. I'm eager to keep some more Trakovi updates as they come along. Bitsy.
Hi. So I'm at Bitsy_the_alien or at Eoterra, if you can figure out how to spell that. Those are my kind of 2 profiles, and I don't post that much, especially on Twitter, but I do my best. You can say hi.
That's right, and she's always on this show. She was the first guest and never leaves. She liked it so much. So how about that? And Pedro, you want to give it a shout out to your? I know your Tropical's on right now.
Yeah, guys. Back Tropical Magics. We're in the last 25 days of the second month, so yeah, check it on Indiegogo. If you like what you see, please back it. And I'm getting a request by a very insistent Pop Ben Sant to share some animation from his CromCon.
Very cool.
Let me
And
just
let's
find it.
check out. We can definitely take a look at it. But let me just take a. Oh yeah.
So yeah,
Pedro's
we're doing
animation.
that. Yeah. It was not me. It was Pops. It was animation. Show it. Look like there you go.
And let's just see how Pac is coming along. Pac, we're gonna end it here. Maybe you want? Are you okay? You want to stop and we'll finish the next one next week?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do it. But
That'd be
this
great,
is
Pac.
this was in how long was this, Pedro? Maybe 25 minutes this time. And
25 minutes. 25
yeah,
minutes.
it looks
Beautiful.
it looks good.
Thank you.
Dan Plagle, if you got this as a YouTube subscriber exclusive art print, would you be happy? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a great piece. Especially if it's an add-on. Like, wow.
It's just a bonus. All you have to do is subscribe. Bitsy, if you want to tell people to subscribe right now, that would be. We'll end it there.
Hey, you need to subscribe to this treehouse submarine treehouse, whichever way it is. You got to subscribe to it. Yep. And then follow us all on freaking, what is it? Kickstarter. We're all doing Kickstarter.
That's right. We are all on Kickstarter, Indiegogo, anywhere,
be on
usually
that
on
soon.
So
crowdfunding.
good at this.
We always end off with one quote, and I think I want to end it off with Adrian. Ride us out here. Tell the audience one thing you want them to know. You know what I'm saying? It's all you.
I need a quote. What? What?